In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Tackle, a pre-reading strategy that we use at East Bay High School for our students to learn how to preview a text. This video is going to show you how to model and teach students how to tackle text. There's a graphic organizer that explains each of the letters in Tackle. The graphic organizer can be used to teach our students and also allow them to fill it out when they are only first learning how to tackle a text. The T in Tackle stands for title. Students should read the title first to try to help make sense of any main idea or topic. The A in Tackle stands for author. Students should look at the author and see if they can activate any prior knowledge about this author. They should also at the same time look for the date and location that the text was written. The C is for captions, charts, graphs, and pictures. Looking at these can help give visual aid to what the text may be trying to tell the students. Most of these pictures, graphs, charts, will have some kind of caption underneath to help the student understand the visual aid. Students should try to translate this information on their own. The K in Tackle stands for what do we know about this text? Students should try to consider what they know, make notes, and if they don't know anything about the text, then they can just jot down something to help question what the text is about. The L in Tackle stands for lead paragraph. Reading the lead paragraph in a text can help begin to give some kind of idea of what the topic and main idea is about. Many times the topic or main idea is stated in the first paragraph of a text. This should be the first time that they use selective underlining and margin notes while they're reading the lead paragraph. The E in Tackle stands for end paragraph or questions. Reading the end questions of a text helps give purpose for the reader. It's important to understand the text as an entirety, but reading the end questions may help to focus on particular things, such as a particular phrase or word, or possibly just knowing that you will need to answer what the author's tone of the whole text is. For this video, I'm going to use the EPAT to tackle a text. The EPAT is an FCAT simulator, and I think it's important to show students that even on the online assessments, they can use the notepad tool to use their strategic reading strategies such as Tackle. So in the EPAT, we're going to use the article, The Height of Ingenuity. I'm going to type T, and I'm going to retype the whole title, The Height of Ingenuity. I like to retype or rewrite the whole title. It allows me to process what it's about. When talking to the students about title, also tell them to look for any subtitles that may be there as well. Next, I'm going to look for the author. In this text, the author is Norman Vanamy. This doesn't bring up any background knowledge for me, but while I am typing the author, I'm going to also look for any date or location in which this text was written. I see that this text was written in 2003 and it was taken out of the New York Times by possibly some article called The Spirit Voyager. So this is important to me, knowing that this was actually written in the New York Times, meaning that this might be a little bit harder to read and I'm going to have to stop and really process at different chunks in the text. I'm at C in Tackle. C stands for charts, graphs, pictures, and captions. I see 3 pictures in this article. I'm going to type picture number 1, picture number 2, and picture number 3. I'm going to type in what the caption under each picture is, as well as the subtitle that accompanies it. This is helping me begin to process what this whole article may be about. The K in Tackle is what do I know? So far, I don't really feel like I know much about what this article is going to be about. Possibly it could be something about a photography art contest on tall objects. It's okay for students not to know what an article is going to be about, but something should always be written or typed to help make a guess or ask a question. At this time, I'm going to read the lead paragraph of the article. Reading the lead paragraph will help me get a better idea of what the article is going to be about. This is the first time that the strategic reading strategy should be used. In the EPAT, students can use the highlighting tool to take notes and then go back and use the notepad to make their marginal notes. In the lead paragraph, I underline designing things that people don't want to have around. I also underline that difficult design challenges of contemporary life. I also highlighted grows at a steady rate of 12% a year. And finally, less willing to have them placed on the streets and backyards. This shows me that these large objects or antennas are being built and people do not like them in their communities. From reading the article, the reader can conclude that the work of designing unwanted structure is, I'm going to type E in a new notepad for each question, and I'm going to type that the question is asking to draw conclusions about designing unwanted structures. Finally, we're at E, reading the end questions. Clicking on Next at the bottom of the EPAT will bring the questions up. I see question number 1, which asks, the next question says, according to the article, Grubb first became interested in turning cell phone towers into pieces of art when he. So I'm going to type that I'm going to try to find when Grubb became first interested in turning cell phone towers into art. I'm going to continue this process for E for each question. This is the end of Tackle. It seems that this would take a long time as I've modeled it in the video. But honestly, when you're working with either a piece of paper or on the computer, this should just take less than 2 minutes possibly on the computer, and sometimes as short as 30 seconds on a piece of paper, depending how much time the student has to go through the process. The next strategic reading strategy that we're going to talk about is chunking. There are a few rules to remember while chunking out a piece of text. The 3-finger rule is one way to remember how much information should be read at one time before making marginal notes. Also, another thing to remember is each subtitle is a section of text, and the EPAT allows you to use the selective underlining tool to draw lines where the text should be chunked. Scrolling through the whole text, you can use the selective underlining tool to draw lines. Here you can see where the sections were that I decided to chunk out the text. Chunking should take no more than 15 to 30 seconds with just about any text. The next strategic reading strategies are selective underlining and margin notes.